Y'all killing me with this.
And then I'm met with this, once again, Hasan Piker crash out bullshit. So let's get into that, because it's a doozy. Like I said, it's going to be actually insane that this guy is still going on about this shit.
So I go to Hassan's page, and there is stuff in there that's like, I feel like even like a Hassan fan could fairly look at this and say that, yeah, that's terrorist propaganda. Here it is up on his fucking page still. To this very moment is the clip of him watching Houthi propaganda video while getting up and just letting it play. And this is okay with you, Dan, you fuck! You coward! You are such a loser. This man hates Jewish people. There's no other conceivable, you know what I mean? That guy's doing, he's going, no, you're crazy for thinking that.
You hear how upset this guy is, like legitimately losing his mind over this. This is crazy behavior right here. Like, just to hear how frustrated he gets to yell like that. Like, I yell like that on this show. I'm joking around. It's like, you can clearly tell that I'm joking around when I'm sitting there. What, I'm yelling over some stupid shit? Okay, it's over. You know what I mean? Nobody's actually upset here. This is all for fun. You know, and this is supposed to be what Ethan's show is about. Ethan's show is supposed to be about fun. He's bringing this shit to us again. We're just going to show you this little crash out because this kind of stems the whole derailment of this show. You know, once again, this was supposed to be about Mr. Beast stepping down as CEO. What happened? What happened to that juicy, gossipy shit that people are expecting to hear, mixed in with a little bit of jokes and some funny sound bites from good old Zachary? You know what I mean? Come on.
Fuck! You coward! You are such a loser. This man hates Jewish people. There's no other conceivable, you know what I mean?
He can't even finish the sentence. He's sitting there, he screams, he goes, this guy, loser, this guy hates Jewish people. You can hear it in his voice. You hear how worked up he's getting. It's coming right out of his chest, dude. This is insanity. So, like, this kind of thing is just, it's going to keep going on. He goes as far as to say, like, if nobody does anything to the CEO of Twitch, nobody cancels Hassan, everyone hates Jewish people. This is like, he's generalizing everyone based off of the actions of a few people. This is all behavior that, like, Ethan supposedly doesn't support. Yet here we are watching this Hypocrisy 3. I put a 2 up at first. Hypocrisy 3 one more time. I always forget which lens I'm looking into when I'm, like, pointing at shit like that.
You don't fool me. Not at all. If he doesn't have to step down, if nothing happens, then I have no faith that, like, I don't think anybody actually cares about anti-Semitism. Like, as a Jewish person, I think that if nothing happens to him or the platform, if there's no accountability, even Hassan's terrorist videos are still up, then, like, basically I'm worthless to them.
You are worthless to them. This is crazy. Like, is this not insane to actually hear this shit coming out of his mouth? Like, to sit there and say, you're worthless. Nobody gives you're not even like a prominent creator on the platform. Why would they give a fuck about you? Just think about that, bro. That's like if I'm working at my regular job, right? The job I do, my 9 to 5, and I'm sitting there bitching about the practices that they have at McDonald's, right? And I'm like, it's crazy the way they're treating their employees over there at McDonald's. As a matter of fact, if something doesn't happen over there at McDonald's, you know, the company that I don't work for, if something doesn't happen to them, I'm just gonna, like, it's obvious that I mean nothing to them. What the fuck would they have to care about you for? You contribute nothing to them. What, you have a little money grab Twitch channel that you do a 24-hour what do they call them? Like reruns of your show. You stream that 24 hours a day on Twitch, right? Which, I'll have you know, is against their terms of service, okay? So you breaking their terms of service, and then you're complaining about Hassan breaking their terms of service, right? And if that's not hypocrisy 3, once again, then I don't know what is. You're literally the pot calling the kettle black with this one. It's kind of fucking crazy. And this kind of shit, you know, it just keeps going. Now, this one's a rarity. You're gonna hear Zach chime in with his shit as well. he tells this kind of crazy ass story, which this one's a little bit insane. I will give it to him, but it's just funny seeing Zach like kind of go into this like want to get serious type shit. You know what I mean? Because Zach is another one that, like, to me, he seems like a very victim-esque type person. He very much reminds me of Ethan. He just tries to play it cool by keeping his mouth shut most of the time. This time, he didn't.
Tree. He's like, I can't make music as good as them. I need to kill them all.
Can I share something that I saw last night that was pretty disturbing?
Please
As
do.
a Jewish person. So last night I was in West Hollywood, big Halloween thing down there.
Yeah.
And there was a person doing the Sig Heil in full fucking Nazi uniforms, wearing a swastika armband, and they were wearing a pig mask. Now, I don't know if they were trying to have a joke or what about this, but it was deeply, deeply fucking disturbing.
Was anyone saying anything?
Just out on the street.
I went up, and people were taking pictures next to him doing the Sig Heil.
That's crazy.
And
Dude, that is not a photo you want.
No, I got really upset and frustrated to the point where I was there were a lot of cops around. That's all I'm gonna say. But
What the fuck?
So look, now Zach is talking about how he saw this guy. They were at a Halloween celebration. This guy was wearing a pig mask, full Nazi garbs. He's sitting there doing the whole Ziggy Heil, right? Obviously, it's not a good look for anyone. Even if you're trying to like sit there and paint it out to be like all Nazis are pigs, you know what I mean? Still kind of not really a good look. You're kind of still leaning into it by dressing up like that, and then especially doing the Zig Heil stuff is a little bit much. We get it. The reason I thought this was funny is because Zach is sitting there talking about like how he would go up to this guy and beat this guy's ass if there were no cops around, right? This is so funny to me. And because the reason why it's so funny to me is because, like I said, he strikes me as a very victim-esque type person. He'll sit there and talk the talk. He's not going to go up to nobody and try to fight them. He did say how he went up to the guy and was like, this is low of you, you're the problem, blah, blah, blah. That Zach will do. Zach will do that whole like, look, I'm doing an Ethan Klein with my wristwatch. Zach will do that whole like, talk shit to the person. So Zach ain't throwing no hands at that motherfucker. I'm going to tell you that right now. It could have been just the two of them there. Zach would have done not a goddamn thing. What, he would have walked up to the guy with his sound pad, started hitting shit? Hey, man, you're the problem. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are we talking about here? You know, he's not going to do jack shit. So I thought that was funny because of, like, how he's coming off as a tough guy over that situation, which, yeah, like I said, the dude in the costume was probably out of line, but let's call a spade here, Zach. You, aside from some choice words, you're not doing jack shit. Now listen to this. They start doing this whole like freedom of speech talk, right? They're like, isn't it illegal to do some shit like that? As if we're in like fucking third world communist Russia. Listen to this.
No, it's insane.
Anyway, shout out to the pig Nazi. We love you.
I was dressed as the Joker too, so.
Dude, you had the in. You could have done anything to him.
Tell me that doesn't make it better. Zach walks up to you. Picture Zach walking up to you. Hey man, what the fuck? You're the goddamn problem. Dressed as the Joker. Dressed as the Joker with the full beard and everything, so the fucking makeup is all like caked in his beard. You would think that this is an actual insane person. You probably wouldn't even think this is somebody dressed up for Halloween. You know what I mean? Then he's hitting you with the sound bites from his iPad, you know, while sitting there talking. This guy can't do anything without sound bites. Did you know that? Did you know? His family actually gets upset. Like, he's not even invited to Thanksgiving dinner. He has one of these. He's hitting that thing in his everyday life. Non-stop, dude. Non-stop. Always with the sound bites. His girlfriend's getting ready to leave him. They're fucking. He's hitting sound bites. Boom! I got my nut off. You know, this is like the type. He's obsessed with the sound bites. So now he's yelling at this dude in a Joker mask, hitting sound bites on his iPad. Boom! Boom! You know what I mean? And this guy's sitting there like, what the fuck is actually happening here?
There was sheriff's department around. I didn't want to spend the night in jail, but
you don't need to.
Yeah.
It would have been fucking badass though.
No, stop. We're not encouraging that.
I wanted to, believe me. That
Would have been sick, dude.
You did the right thing by not doing that because you don't know if this guy has a knife or a gun.
Yeah, my life is not worth a
Not
fucking
worth
low
that.
life piece of shit.
I doubt this coward would put up a fight.
Would the
You
police
never know.
take it serious if you like reported this as a hate crime? Because I'm sure he took his mask off
Good question.
at some point during this
Well,
night.
See, this is where I start to stray away from the agreement with them. Yes, I agree. It's a little bit wild for this dude to have a crazy ass costume on, but the only crime there is it's not socially acceptable. Nothing anywhere in the Constitution and the freedom of speech and the freedom to express yourself does it say you can't wear that stuff. So to sit here and have this fucking European communist ass cuck sit there and say, can you report that for a hate crime? I mean, would the police take it seriously if we reported that for a hate crime? Shut the fuck up, okay? This isn't Sweden. This is America. We can dress how we want, okay? Doesn't mean everybody has to agree with it, but we can do that shit. This guy is sitting there going like, can't they just throw you in the goddamn Gestapo for that? You know? Can't they just lock you up for 5 to 10 without any kind of trial or anything? Like, they do that where I'm from. You know what I mean? Like, in the countries where I'm from, they'll just knock on your door and straight arrest you right there for a Facebook post. So, like, it surprises me. Like, he's like, oh, it's so surprising to me that, like, this guy can just dress up however he wants in this situation, you know? It's like, dude, this is America, baby. This is why we're number one. Because you can dress as a Nazi, and it's totally legal. Is this not the greatest country in the world?
But put up a fight.
Would the police
know.
take it serious if you like reported this as a hate crime? Because I'm sure he took his mask off
Good question.
at some point during this
Well,
night.
I thought about that, but isn't that technically freedom of speech?
Well, hate crime, as in my understanding,
think
isn't
hate-
freedom of speech, right?
I mean, he was just standing there.
You can be racist. It's
You
not
can
illegal.
definitely wear a Nazi uniform.
Oh,
and
that's
not
epic.
Break the law here.
You can be racist here.
In Europe,
Love
that
that.
would be against the law, right, love? Like,
I got a bunch
In a
of
lot
shit
of
about a bunch of Europeans, but yes, my understanding is if you do something against a certain folk
Protected
group,
groups, we
yeah,
say.
protected group, you'll get fucked by it.
See? And that is not cool, okay? This is why America broke off from the rest of that shit, you know? The whole reason this country even started was because of stuff like that. And that is why we're fucking number one, baby. You can't beat it. The freedom of speech. That's the driving force of this entire country, man. If that shit goes down, we'll be gone. We'll be like China. You know what I mean? I'm just just pretty much reaching for jokes at this point with this bullshit. This whole thing is just a crash out that we did not need. You know what I'm saying? And of course, Ethan's gonna mix in some shit like blowing his nose on stream, doing different things like that. But then they go on to like, once again, that the anti-Semitism stuff that we talked about, that shit went on for like an hour. These shows are only supposed to be like 3 to 4 hours long. Like 4 is like a very long episode of H3, right? So that whole anti-Semitism thing was like an hour. Then they move on to a fruit tier list. This is what, and mind you, this episode is titled Mr. B Steps Down as CEO, Ava Chris Tyson Scandal. Like, this is what we're all expecting to watch, right? They go on for like another full hour doing a fruit tier list. They bring on this Ukrainian girl. If you remember earlier, I said that's going to also be another derailment, is this Ukrainian girl. They bring this Ukrainian girl on to voice her opinion on Hassan's views on Ukraine. Hassan hasn't had a view on Ukraine and I don't even know how goddamn long. Like, we're Israel, Palestine. That's what we're talking about right now. Ukraine's on the back burner. Okay? So he's sitting there reaching, just like I was just reaching for jokes. He's reaching for anything that he can to try to make Hassan look as bad as he can. We'll touch on that later. I wanted to give you some context on this Ukrainian girl because she sits there and starts making fun of Gila during this fucking fruit tier list. And I thought that was good shit because it's very rarely that we see Gila get talked to in this way because everyone there is scared of her.
Let's see.
we
one
rated
is-
the date. We're
All right,
good
let's
on
move
dates.
on to
Moving on.
Cantaloupe.
Ooh, interesting one.
Cantaloupe's
Really?
good.
I
It's
like
not
it.
amazing.
Look at this dog shit. Is this not like a fucking cop out of content? You have like 9 producers there. However many researchers you have on payroll. This Ukrainian girl we're about to talk about is one of the researchers. So she is also technically part of the production crew. You have all these people there to work on this goddamn show. This is the shit that you want to pull up on? Like, this is what you want us to watch. A fruit fucking tier list. This is it. This is just an excuse for Ethan to eat on stream. If you're asking me, that's what this is. You know? I mean, I guess it's kind of okay, though, because it's like fruit, right? And like fruit is healthy, right? So like I can sit here and munch on fruit for like the whole 3 hours. And like, that's cool, right? It's not going to like fuck with my Ozempic prescription. This is like what I'm seeing when I see this. There's another excuse for Ethan to eat on stream. This is the grade A content that he pays. He's probably got like at least $250,000 worth of producers and salaries just in that studio alone. So what the fuck are we doing here?
It's like an F.
Yep, I
It's
agree.
like Watermelon's ugly
Wow.
little sister.
I
Yes,
love it.
That's F. That's the opposite of a watermelon, so it's an F.
What?
I
I'd
hate
say,
the
like,
lope.
B.
I hate the dew. I hate both of
They're
them.
definitely siblings of the watermelon.
Siblings
The
in a
melon, but-
horrible sense of the word. They're like, they don't get along.
Eli, you don't get to judge someone, but they're siblings.
What the fuck? Oh, bro, you hear this Ukrainian bitch? Coming in with that heat on Gila like that. That is wild shit. So if for those of you who don't know the context, they're sitting there talking about, oh, cantaloupe and honeydew, they're like watermelon's like ugly younger sibling or something. I don't know what the fuck they were saying. Comparing them, watermelons and that shit to siblings. This is all grade A content, by the way. So that's what they're talking about. And Gila's defending these cantaloupes and honeydew whatever. Ethan's like, nah, man, it's like the ugly younger sibling. She goes, no, they're definitely more alike than you think. This Ukrainian bitch talking about Trisha Paytas and Moses, who happens to be Gila's brother, right? She sits there and says, I mean, if anybody here is going to be able to talk about siblings, it ain't going to be you, bitch. This is like, you need to stay out of this arena because you don't even have a good relationship with your sibling, okay? So this I wanted to point out to you guys because this was solid gold.
Watermelon, so it's an F.
What?
I
I'd
hate
say,
the
like,
lope.
B.
I hate the dew. I hate both of
They're
them.
definitely siblings of the watermelon.
Siblings
The
in
melon,
a
but-
horrible sense of the word. They're like, they don't get along.
Eli, you don't get to judge someone, but they're siblings. So
Don't judge a book by their sibling.
Look at that. Look at the face. Look, Ethan. We're going to back up. Look at Ethan's face when he says that. He goes, I'm going to definitely hear about this shit when I get home later.
they're siblings. So
Don't judge a book by their sibling.
See that?
I would
See how he kind of did that with his eye? He was kind of like, ugh. He's like, God damn, I'm going to fucking hear this shit later.
I would go see all because I
Look, he's looking into the camera. Look at this. He knows. I wish I had that soundbite that plays that violin. It's like the sad shit. Because that's kind of what's happening here. He's like, this Ukrainian bitch really just cost me my whole goddamn night. How the fuck did we end up here? You know? And the crowd's asking like the same thing. The audience, we're all asking the same thing. How did we end up here? How did we end up at a fruit tier list? You know? And you think you're watching this live like I was. You think to yourself, okay, they're going to get to the Mr. Beast right after the fruit tier list. Wrong. They're not. Okay? Because Ethan, once again, has baited you, the audience, into watching this bullshit so he can string you along, so he can try to manipulate you into hating this Hassan, into hating the CEO of Twitch just as much as he does.
And hold my fart like a bong rip.